Hey, who rocks the house? The Trump rocks the house. And when he rocks it all the way down.
How strong that team is, making his way into the building. One of the bigger mixed martial arts fans I know, President Donald Trump, taking his octagon side seat for UFC 295. We got two title fights coming up at UFC 295 here in a matter of moments, live from Madison Square Garden. And President Trump will be here to witness all of it. Four of the very best fighters in the world set to take their cracks at light heavyweight and interim heavyweight gold, respectively. We move over to pay-per-view shortly. Thank you all for being here for the prelim coverage. But as you know, best is yet to come. Main card for UFC 295, live on ESPN Plus pay-per-view from Madison Square Garden. Starts right now.
Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson, Dana White, Don Jr. made an appearance at the UFC Championship at Madison Square Garden. 20,000 plus fans, and they went nuts for 45. This is New York City. By the way, you do know that New York City actually flipped a blue seat red in the legislature, right? There's something going on in New York. They have had it. By the way, if you get out into places like Queens and the Bronx and Brooklyn, you know, you talk to the actual middle-class New Yorkers who make the city work and work the city, they all talk like Donald Trump. Don't you understand that? They relate to Donald Trump. And so you've got something going on. But of course, Joe Obama Biden would never think to walk into a mega sporting event like that because he knows 2/3 of the crowd would start screaming either F Joe Biden or let's go Brandon. So he doesn't subjugate himself to those types of venues. Donald Trump, full confidence, man under indictment, walks in, owns the crowd, with the exception of one person. Nina Renee Hill double flipped him off. Who is Nia Renee Hill? Well, she just happens to be the wife of comedian Bill Burr. Oh yeah, can you say Jada and Will Smith Part 2? Hi, I'm Pastor Marty. This is the Afternoon Drive. So glad to have you along. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Once you are, you will receive notification. If you smack the bell, you'll be notified every time I give you a rant, a raving, and another undeniably flawless reasoning. Hey, please like and share this video. That's how we get the word out that we're here. And I promise you, not maybe, but I probably will say something that makes you mad, and I really don't care, as long as I make you think. Welcome to the podcast for thinking people. Now, this story has been out for a couple of days, and of course, there's a lot about the backlash on Twitter, X, that Nia Renee Hill is getting over this double bird to Donald Trump. Bill Burr, her husband, in true cuck form, he just kind of looked away. Like, what? In that arena of 20,000 people, you didn't notice that the former president of the United States walked in and 20,000 people were going out of their minds, screaming, cheering, Trump, 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 Trump. You just kind of looked away. Your wife gives him the double barrel birdie, and you just insulted about half your audience, half the people that pay money to watch your pay-per-view and come see you. You thought that was a wise business move. You are a cuck, and that is all you are, Bill. This whole tough guy persona that you actually stole from another comedian. You were a zero going nowhere, and you literally stole another comedian's act in that whole tough guy, politically incorrect persona. But since you hooked up with Nia, we have watched your comedy get softer and softer and introspective and reflective, and you are becoming Will Smith. I look at pictures of you with your wife leaning into her not leaning into you, you leaning into her. By the way, I find it interesting she didn't take your last name. Neither did Jada Pinkett. She kind of threw the Smith in there, but, she's still in love with Tupac. When looking up Nia Renee Hill, I love that it says in her bio, she's a director. She's a producer. She's an actor. Can anybody name one thing that she was in? About the only thing I could find reference to is that she did voiceover work for the cartoon series F is for Family. Yeah, Bill Burr's cartoon series. In other words, she directs, produces, and acts in what is actually Bill's business. So she's the one that has influence over him toning it down. She's the one that has influence over him, starting to tiptoe into some of the politically correct woke nonsense, and during COVID, he was so proud of himself for taking every vax out there and every booster and, just maligning people who did not. Although I have to pause right here to say that all of that is completely safe and effective, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, back to the commentary. He got mad that he would see neighbors, outside their homes without masks on, and that people that didn't live in that home and weren't part of that family still dropping by like it was normal. Where does he get all this? From Nia Renee Hill, his wife. And like Jada Pinkett Smith, calling her husband in for a live podcast to talk about her entanglements. And he just keeps smiling. He just keeps saying what an amazing, awesome woman she is. Cucked him to the point that he literally, popped Chris Rock and basically destroyed his career. Bill, you're heading for that same reef, my friend. You're going off that same ledge, my friend. And everybody knows it. And this is, without a doubt, so the MAGA people have loved you, supported you, made you rich. The politically correct certainly didn't do that. The libloons certainly didn't do that. And this is how you repay us, by letting your wife basically, flip us off. Because she wasn't just flipping off Donald Trump. She was flipping off the people that Donald Trump represents. There's an old saying, don't sheep dip where you eat. You catch what I mean there? And that's exactly what you did. You allowed your wife to take a big, bowel-moving sheep dip dump where you eat. On us. The people that have paid you, supported you, been your fan base, and that's how you told us thank you. Way to go, Bill. Way to go. It just proves that what you do on stage is nothing more than a pure act. There's nothing now authentic about it whatsoever. And like Will Smith, you have been cucked. Congratulations, Mr. Boston Tough Guy.